Imagine you're browsing eBay for vintage art when you stumble across a painting that comes with a warning label. Not a "handle with care" sticker, but an actual disclaimer that says the seller won't be responsible if you start experiencing paranormal activity after buying it. Sounds like a joke, right? Well, that's exactly what happened in the year 2000, when a seemingly innocent painting of a boy and a doll became the most infamous haunted object on the internet. But that's just one of 4 paintings we're diving into today, each one looking harmless enough to hang in your living room, yet hiding stories so twisted they'll make you question everything you thought you knew about art. We're starting with what might be the most infamous painting in internet history, The Hands Resist Him by Bill Stoneham. At first glance, it's just a boy and a doll standing by a door. Nothing too unusual there, right? But this innocent-looking painting from 1972 would go on to become the stuff of digital nightmares. The story starts normally enough. Stoneham painted it based on a childhood photo of himself, with the boy representing his 5-year-old self, the doll as a guide between worlds, and those hands pressed against the glass door symbolizing different life paths. Pretty standard symbolic art stuff. The painting was displayed at a Beverly Hills gallery, got reviewed by the Los Angeles Times, and was bought by actor John Marley. But here's where things get weird. Both the gallery owner and the art critic who reviewed the painting died within a year of encountering it. Coincidence? Maybe. But the painting's curse was just getting started. After Marley died, the painting disappeared for years until an elderly California couple found it at an abandoned brewery. When they decided to sell it on eBay in 2000, they included a description that would make your blood run cold. They claimed the characters moved at night, sometimes leaving the painting entirely to wander around the room. They even included photos supposedly showing the doll threatening the boy with what looked like a gun. The listing went viral before going viral was even a thing. Over 30,000 people viewed it, and many claimed that just looking at the photos made them feel sick or experience supernatural phenomena. The painting sold for over $8,000 to a gallery in Michigan, but the legend was born. Plot twist. When the buyer contacted Stoneham about the painting's supposed curse, the artist revealed that the gun everyone was freaking out about was actually just a battery and some wires. Still, the damage was done. The Hands Resist Him had become the world's most famous haunted painting. Now, let's shift from internet folklore to genuine artistic tragedy with Vincent van Gogh's At Eternity's Gate. This painting might look like a simple portrait of an old man in despair, but it's actually a window into Van Gogh's tortured soul during his final months. What makes this painting particularly haunting is its timing. Van Gogh completed it just 2 months before his death, generally accepted as suicide. He was struggling with what we now think might have been bipolar disorder, possibly made worse by his heavy drinking and the lead in his paints. During his worst episodes, he couldn't paint, draw, or even write coherent letters. But here's the thing that gives me chills. Van Gogh saw this painting as proof of something divine. He wrote that the old man's expression showed the existence of something on high, that even the poorest person could have moments that connect them to eternity. The English title he chose, At Eternity's Gate, suggests he found hope even in the depths of despair. The irony is devastating. Van Gogh painted this image of an old man sitting by a fire, head in hands, as a symbol of faith and endurance. But for Van Gogh himself, Eternity's Gate would open just 8 weeks later on a wheat field in Auvers-sur-Oise. This painting shouldn't exist, and I don't mean that metaphorically. Rousseau painted a detailed jungle scene despite never leaving France, and created one of the most mysterious encounters in art history. The painting shows a dark-skinned woman sleeping in a desert while a lion approaches and sniffs her, but doesn't attack. Rousseau described it as very poetic, but the scene is so surreal it feels like a fever dream. The woman lies there completely vulnerable, yet the lion shows an almost supernatural restraint. Here's what makes it even stranger. Rousseau was a customs officer who painted as a hobby. He'd never seen a real jungle, never traveled to exotic places, and certainly never witnessed a lion sparing a human. Yet he painted this scene with such conviction that it became one of the most recognizable images in modern art. Some art historians think Rousseau based the painting on visits to the Paris Zoo and exhibits from the 1889 World's Fair, but that doesn't explain the painting's dreamlike quality. The proportions are off, the colors too vivid, the entire scene too perfect to be real. It's like Rousseau was painting from a dream he couldn't quite remember. Today, it hangs next to Van Gogh's Starry Night. Two impossible visions sharing the same wall. Our final painting brings us to Poland and one of the most politically charged works in European art, Jan Matejko's Stańczyk. The painting shows Stańczyk, Poland's legendary court jester, sitting alone in a dark room while a royal ball rages in the background. But this isn't a jester taking a break from entertaining. This is a man who's just received news that will change everything. On the table lies a letter announcing that Poland has lost the city of Smolensk to Russia, and Stańczyk is the only one who understands what this means. What makes this painting absolutely chilling is that Matejko painted it in 1862. During a time when Poland didn't even exist as an independent country. The painting became a symbol of Polish resistance and national identity, but it also established Stańczyk as a figure who could see disasters coming when everyone else was too busy celebrating to notice. The symbolism is everywhere. Stańczyk's jester's stick lies abandoned on the floor, replaced by a holy medallion around his neck. Through an open window, you can see Wawel Cathedral and a comet, traditionally an omen of doom. Even the positioning tells a story. While the nobility party in the bright background, the only wise man sits alone in the shadows, bearing the weight of knowledge nobody wants to hear. The painting survived Nazi looting during World War II and Soviet occupation, finally returning to Poland in 1956. But Stańczyk's legacy lives on. He's become a symbol of the intellectual who speaks truth to power, even when that truth is devastating. What do you think about these haunting masterpieces? Have you encountered a painting that made you feel like you were looking at something more than just art? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to explore more mysteries hidden in plain sight throughout art history.